Hi, in this video, we're going to learn how you can apply conditional statements and what they are and why there is a need of them. So, this can happen that in some point you need to take an alternative route depending upon some condition than the traditional route of execution you was following. So, this can be done with the help of conditional statements, and there are three of them. One is called if statement, the other is called if else statement, and the third one is elseif, which is actually a combination of these two and is useful in the nested case scenario. So for example, if you come to this route and at this point you want to check whether you should go here or some other route, right? For that, nested statements are being used. So we are going to cover all of these. So let's come to the code. Let's discuss the first thing. So if first of all I have declared a variable, its name is variable and it's a bool type variable, I declared it to true. Then in an if statement, I'm checking whether this variable value is equals to true or not, which is actually the case. So the program is going to work like this. Okay, it's going to come here, it's going to declare the value, then it's going to come here and going to check whether this is equals to true or not. So the syntax is that there's a condition and then you put a column, and with an indentation of one tab you write whatever you want to include inside that if, right? So this statement is not inside this if. Okay, so this program is going to print the value was true and outside if. Okay, let's run it. Right, because the program comes here, it gets into the if and then it gets out of the if. So flow is something like this. Okay, now if I put a check of false, okay, so this statement would be returning false. Okay, if it returns false, then we will not enter the if statement. So now it's going to print only outside if. But okay, now let's talk about if else. So basically you cannot use the else statement alone. It is always going to use with if else. So the case is that you start the program execution, you check something and you say do either this or that, instead of this typical way where you either come to this part, right, and then you go for the execution, you go do something like either go this way or go that way, right? If the statement is true, do this, else do that. Okay, so it's going to print true if this condition is going to return true, else it's going to print false. It's printing true. Why? Because the variable value is true. So if I set it to false, then the condition inside if is going to be returning false. It should print this. And then after these nested statements, the program execution is going to be normal outside if. Here you can see that. Now let's come to the if else nested state command. So the case is you have a typical if else thing. If this condition is true, you get inside the if. Now you may have if else here, but the easy way is that you go for if else if. Okay, so you come inside this, you check if, for example, if the value of var, which is 100, is less than 200, that means this condition is going to return true. So you should come here inside the execution of this if. You print that the expression value is less than 200 and then you check other things, whether it is equals to 150. If yes, then you print this, else you check this. Now you can see that this else can have a condition. Okay, and instead of having nested if else statements, you can go for an easier way. That is, you check if this is equals to this, else you check if it is equals to this, else you check this is equals to this, else you check if else equals to this. So these things are nested. If it's going to false, then it's going to check this, and if this is false, then it's going to check this. If this is false, then it's going to check this. Instead, if you have if, then all the statements would going to be checked. Okay, so instead of having too many checks, you want linked checks. For if this is true, then you want this to be checked, right? If this is false, you don't want, sorry, if this is false, then it's going to be checked. If this is true, it's not going to check these. But if you have all ifs here, which can be the case, then it's going to check all of the statements, no matter which one is true, right? Here we are having linked checks. So if the first thing is false, then the second thing is going to be checked. If the second thing is false, then it's going to check the next thing. And if this is false, then it's going to check the last. Okay, let's run it. Right, which is 100. Right? Now, if I make it 200, then the first if is not going to work. It should come here. Would not find the value. If I make it, let's say 40, then it should come here. Right? So that is for this video. I meet you in the next video, where we will be going to discuss how to handle files, how to take data from the file, and how to dump data into the files in Python. Thank you.